Well, welcome everyone to the RedBud National Press Conference here for the 250 division. Ended up first, finished fourth, and first, Mr. Chance Hymas representing Team Honda HRC on the number 48. In second place, the number 29 on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki with box scores of first and fifth for second place overall, and third overall with 5-2 scores. On the Factory Honda HRC, it's none other than Joe Shimoda. Chance Hymas, let's talk about it. Sophomore season. I don't think you could write a better story. Get your first overall, first moto win already this season. The emotions so far today, coming off the track after that second moto, knowing you had it, and has it really sunk in yet?
Not exactly quite yet. I mean, I didn't even know I had the overall until I came to Impound, and everyone was super stoked. And I was like, all right, moto win, and yeah, I came over, and yeah, you got the overall. I was like, man, 4-1 last time. I barely got second. So, no, it's honestly really good. Do it on, 4th of July weekend, and being the only American on the team, it felt really good, and especially getting my first overall win here. And I feel like it's kind of a bucket list win for a lot of Americans here at RedBud. So to get my first one here, it's pretty special. And yeah, I've executed really good the second moto and put a big gap, but Joe reeled me in, and I had to pick up the pace. And I was really stoked. Honda won too, and honestly, it shows how much we're working and how bad we want this, and we're figuring it out. So it was a fun moto, battling with him, and yeah, super stoked.
In comparison of Moto 1 for Moto 2 for you, Moto 1 looked like you were more physical riding, trying to put the bike in the places. Was it more of a mental balance between the physical and mental in Moto number 2?
Yeah, I just rode a lot more relaxed in the second moto. The first moto, I got out front, and I was just trying to build a big gap, and I was just overriding the bike and taking bad lines. And my riding style and the way I set up the bike, I can't ride like that for 35 minutes. So I kind of just, those guys were on it in the first moto, and I was just off the pace and making bad choices. So second moto, I mean, watched some film and did what I could, and yeah, executed a really good start, and I just tried to ride as loose as I could, and honestly just believed that I could do it was my thing.
Ty, let's talk about it. You and hole shots here at RedBud seem to be a thing. Let's talk. I want to know mentally what you were going through on that final lap. Hayden Deegan right behind you. We could see some small mistakes on the screen, but mentally, what were you going through? Were you frustrated with yourself? You knew you had to turn it on, but the risk reward, where were you at?
Yeah, I mean, he was behind me the whole moto. We were battling at the beginning, and then but we were pretty much side by side the whole moto, and then I knew he was going to do a hard charge at the end, but the biggest thing just me versus me. Plan doesn't change if I'm in 10th or 1st or whatever. It's just me versus me and me versus the track. And yeah, I had no idea I even got the whole shot. I should have done another point up there, but yeah, I mean, they had me beat, so I just hugged the inside, and then I guess I crossed the line first, and then they passed me right back, so I had no idea I even had the whole shot. And then I think he passed me like second corner, and yeah, he put in some really good laps. He pulled a gap on us, and yeah, but yeah, first moto was gnarly. We're charging the whole race.
Second moto, sketchy moment over the tabletop. Did it rattle you?
Yeah, that was definitely gnarly. I thought I was super close to him. Then I saw the video of Tom. He got really close to him. But yeah, definitely a sketchy moment. Hope he's all right. But yeah, definitely a very scary moment.
Joe, I'm not going to lie. RedBud has been good to you, but I didn't notice. Did you have USA written on your chest again this year?
I mean, I thought about it. You always have to be ready. I mean, yeah, like, while these guys are having a good start on the first moto, I got taken out on the first corner, and I was like riding, in the walls and stuff. So it was hectic first motos, but I enjoyed it.
The way the track broke down in Moto number 1, you didn't get the start, moved up to 5th place. How was it? Was there pressure all the time? Were you more concerned about hitting your lap times, or were you more concerned about the pressure in front or behind?
No pressure front or behind, was not worried about any physical stuff, like getting tired. But I don't know, just not enough pace. Yeah, I think that's the right thing to say.
And Chance, penalty was assessed to you, so the points are just going to be about the same sort of float right where you are. Did you know you did it? Was it a shock that it came and that was assessed here this weekend?
Yeah, it was. I I could kind of see it coming into the corner, but what kind of confused me, it wasn't on the lip of the jump, so that's what threw me off. And honestly, I should have just rolled it. I mean, just for precaution. And yeah, I mean, I came around and I could see over the lip, and there was nobody there, so I jumped it, and didn't make it any better that everyone behind me rolled it, you know. But yeah, just dumb mistake on my part. I should have had my head up and should have realized the situation. But yeah, it's hard because they come to me and kind of go back and forth on it, like, you're going to get docked for this, you're going to get docked for that. No, it should be this, should be that. So it's like, all right, I mean, I'm just going to go ride my dirt bike. It is what it is. And got docked a few points, but I mean, it is what it is. And glad the results stayed the same. That's all I can say.
Hey, Ty, you didn't have very much time. I think one day before you started the season with Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Has it been leaps and bounds with the comfortability on the bike and with the team and with yourself living up to the potential I'm sure you knew you always had?
Yeah, definitely a lot to get used to. I thought it would be easier going back down to a 250, but honestly, I feel like my stamina is a lot better on the 450, just kind of letting the bike do the work, and you got to be a little more aggressive on it. But the biggest thing, just getting used to it. It's really hard on those opening laps whenever you're, no, I mean, there's so much stuff going on, and it's just all muscle memory. So, yeah, just feeling better and better, and feeling better and better on the bike.
Jim Kimball with Motocross Action for Chance. Chance, in the second moto, you got the whole shot. And I've been to a lot of races, but I don't know if I've seen anybody check out and make such a big gap that quickly. Was that kind of a strategy you had to like just go full-on sprint, knowing that maybe by the end of the race you would kind of settle the pace down?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of that came from the first moto. I was pretty mad after the first moto, just the way I was riding, and I knew I had to put the anger somewhere, and I put it in the second moto. I executed my start perfectly. I had a bike length on everybody, and I just said, all right, we're done messing around. And you put the gap in right now and ride like how I usually do. And I rode my race like I do on a practice day, and I kind of made a few mistakes with some lappers and got held up a little bit. But honestly, when Joe started picking up the pace and got up to me, it honestly felt like when I'm at the practice track, Hunter or Jet catching me. So I was like, all right, it's kind of same scenario here. I needed to pick it up and keep doing my thing and not get too worked up about it. But yeah, that was my goal. Just put some solid laps together, be consistent, but don't ride over my head. Don't use more energy than I have to. Just be very loose on the bike and take deep breaths, and yeah, just try not to waste energy.
Maybe a quick question for Ty. Ty, you mentioned fitness, or maybe kind of a little bit lack of fitness because you didn't have your boot camp coming into the season. With that said, other than doing like your weekly training, is there anything else you can do to kind of expedite that?
Yeah, I mean, each round I'm going to just get stronger and stronger. So, yeah, I can feel the stamina getting better and better. In that first moto, it didn't help that Teague and I were battling that whole time, the first moto. But, yeah, I mean, the stamina is just going to get better and better from here on out, and feeling good. And, yeah, I mean, that second moto, I think I had first overall for a while. And then, unfortunately, I hit a wall. Like, that first 10 to 15 minutes, I felt so good. I mean, I don't know. I hope they had the camera on me. I was feeling so sweet. I was going outside. Like, I was moving around good and having fun with the track. And, yeah, it was awesome. I hope they got some footage of that. I felt sweet. But, yeah, I mean, with the stamina, it's just going to get better and better. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to next year so I can have that foundation in, because it's really everything off your season. You really work off of that. So, yeah, but it's just going to get better and better.
I'll just add, all three of you guys sure made for an exciting day of watching racing.
All right, Austin Huff, South Bend Tribune. Chance, you know, a lot of people said today that this crowd was even bigger than it's ever been here at RedBud, and obviously this is a pretty big event. So just from your perspective, standing on that podium, like, what was it like kind of being able to look out and see that sea of people that were here today, and maybe the largest crowd that we've ever had out here in 51 years?
Honestly, it's insane. There are so many people, air horns, and everyone's screaming, yelling. It's pretty insane, and winning it 4th of July weekend, being an American, it's honestly a pretty special feeling that, like I said earlier, like a lot of Americans, I feel like it's like a bucket list win for those guys, and it's hard to like put into words how it exactly feels. 'Cause, like when you're in the moment, it's a surreal feeling.
And Joe, you've raced this a couple times as well. Just your perspective of what kind of the crowd or the energy looked like today. It seemed like, again, like it was one of the biggest crowds maybe of all time here.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not from America or American, but no, I enjoy like racing here, and I love this crowd. Like the energy, like you mentioned, it's when you're racing for 30-minute hot and like humid, tiring. To have that energy around, it's a lot of a big difference while riding too, and and get done and be on the podium and interact with all these fans is like so special. And I get like what Chance is saying, like in the podiums, honestly half of the time people are yelling so much that I don't even know what's going on. So.
And Ty, that Moto 1, that was the most dramatic finish, obviously, of the day. Does it have an added level of like achievement for you, given it happened here at RedBud? Because this is just seems like it's one of the bigger races, obviously, of the year. Does it just winning a Moto here and getting second overall just mean more because you're doing it at RedBud?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean, these fans out here are wild. Just like what you're saying, like. You can't even block them out on the track, dude. Like, you hear them more than your bike. It's insane. I mean, dude, there's so many people on the podium. That was awesome. But, first moto was really good. Honestly, that second moto, I felt really good. And then, unfortunately, I just hit that wall, and it was just survival at that rate. Honestly, I felt so good until that, and definitely a little bummed on it. But, yeah.
Brett Smith from We Went Fast. For Chance, you've now led the same number of laps that Hayden has led this season, which is 65. What have you learned about leading laps, managing that race lead, the good and the bad?
Yeah, it's I feel like I led a lot of laps today, but my first moto and second moto are completely different. I mean, at first moto it's hard because you're trying to go forward and you have clear track in front of you, so you're all amped up, but it's hard when you're out front and trying to make good decisions and obviously believe that you're doing the right thing. And the second moto, I mean, I lacked a little bit of confidence the first moto, just being a little confused on line choice and not committing to it. And over time, it's definitely gotten better. In the second moto, I just said screw it, and whatever line I'm taking, I'm sticking to it, and I'm gonna make it work. So, yeah, I didn't even know I was. Before the start of this weekend, I was second in lap sled. I was watching the live stream earlier in qualifying and said I was 40 before the weekend. So I was like, oh, I mean, it's pretty cool feeling. I mean, especially coming into this summer, just not really having any stats to base anything off of, and now I'm running up front with these guys, and it's pretty special. I mean, for everybody.
Here with Mitch Kendra with Racer X. We'll start with Chance. So obviously you had the laps that you led last year, then you got hurt the week after that, missed some time. So now you've led laps, you've won motos, you've got on the podium, you got the overall win today. Do you kind of feel like this is a new standard for you, and how do you look to keep this going forward?
Yeah, I mean, especially after I won my moto after Thunder Valley, this is my next goal, was getting an overall, and it was definitely emotional for me at Thunder Valley just because it was such a relief that I finally did it, but it was like, all right, I belong here now. So after today, it's like, man, it's about time that I did it, But honestly, I wish to be on the podium every weekend. Sometimes, like especially last weekend, I was damage control and I was struggling with the track. But yeah, just my goal right now is staying the same and just trying to get on the podium every weekend. Where even if it's third, for me, I'm trying to build and learn as much as possible, and honestly, just keep doing what I'm doing because obviously it's something's working, so we're just gonna keep it going. But yeah, to be up here with these guys, and it's been a pretty fun summer so far.
And then Joe, kind of same question with you. Like you won a moto last weekend, now you're back on the podium again. Do you feel like you can replicate this now throughout the rest of the season? Because I feel like RedBud's where you kind of get hot every year, and then you kind of carry that momentum. Are you looking to do that again this year?
I don't know. I mean, every weekend, like, I'm gonna try, but I think there is some little more improvements to make. I believe I can. I mean, ride a little faster. So it's hard to say, but we're trying hard.
And then real quick, Ty, obviously the moto win in the first moto, that was awesome. Did you kind of feel like the start of the second moto where you're like, when your guys are kind of shuffling around a little bit, or did you kind of feel like they got away from you at the beginning and maybe you had a chance to fight for the win in that second moto and the overall? I know you said you hit the wall, but do you kind of feel like you kind of lost a shot there at the beginning when you guys are still shuffling around a little bit?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, it's all about the starts nowadays and all that. But, I mean, I felt really good. I was making moves quick that first one. I was behind Deegan, all of them, passed them all or probably like second, third lap. But, I mean, yeah, I felt really good. I was going inside, outside. Obviously, using a little more energy. But, yeah, I know, right? I didn't hit the leap the second one, dude, but I hit it once, and then, I don't know, I felt like I had it a couple more times, but I was like, not risking it. But, yeah. Yeah, you were hitting it consistent, weren't you? Yeah, too. But, yeah, I felt like I had the leap probably like 4 times in a row, but Tom was right in front of me, and, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not that much faster. It's just more to get a nice breath of air in the air, honestly. So, yeah, but I mean, that second moto is very good, and then, yeah, just hit the wall. Yeah.
And so we've seen a lot of great rides from you here, especially in Motocross, but at this venue, you know, is it something about the dirt that you're familiar with, or just what is it about this track that suits you so well?
Yeah, everyone's kind of been saying that, but, yeah, I mean, whenever I was on Star, this is the only round that I raced, and then whenever I was on KTM, on the privateer bike with no graphics and stuff, I almost got 3rd overall. And then I did really good at Southwick, but I was starting in 25th place on the bike, and then charged on. I think I got like 7th or 8th. And then at Millville, I was doing really good, and then unfortunately just came down the hill a little too fast, and it was very slick, and just hit a little kicker at the end, and there's literally a gap that big when you bend your knee braces all the way, and I landed right on my handlebars with my knee bent all the way and shattered my kneecap. So, yeah, but 100% my fault on that. But, yeah, I mean, when people say it's honestly just I just happened to race this race for the last couple of years.
And then one last one for you. Obviously, the huge ride last race, or I guess a couple weeks ago at High Point. You're a fill-in rider for this team. Have you gotten any calls from other people? Have you talked with Mitch? Kind of, do you have any idea what, you know, a couple of months from now is going to look like for next year? Or is it still kind of soon?
Yeah, it's all up in the air, and yeah, we'll see.
Awesome, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.